Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into some pretty incredible stories.
Yeah, pulled straight from ancient Buddhist texts.
Stories describing wealth on a scale that's, honestly, it feels almost beyond imagination.
Right, and these aren't just, simple morality tales. They're really framed within this idea of cause and effect.
Karma, basically.
Exactly, showing how powerful actions, what we call merit, can lead to these astounding, very real results in later lives.
So, our source material today, it focuses on two main figures, Jotika and Jatila.
Their lives, as described, are like case studies for this principle.
So our mission really is to unpack these accounts. We want to see the connections, sometimes surprising ones, between their past actions and their later prosperity.
And figure out what these ancient stories might tell you, the listener, about things like merit, aspiration, even wealth itself.
It's a deep dive into a worldview where, well, the seeds you plant in one life really do shape the next one.
Sometimes in ways you just wouldn't expect. So abundant.
Okay, so where do we start? The first story takes us way back to ancient Varanasi.
Right. Picture this. A huge sugarcane field. But not just any field. It had this extraordinary quality.
Which was?
Well, the text says if you cut a stalk anywhere, the juice just flowed out automatically.
No crushing needed.
No crushing, no machines. Just cut and out it comes. A very specific, almost magical detail, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely sets a scene.
Yeah.
So in this field, there are two brothers, an elder and a younger one.
And one day, the younger brother goes out, cuts two stalks, one for him, one for his brother.
Ties up the ends to keep the juice in for now.
Right. And as he's walking back, suddenly a Paseka Buddha appears.
A solitary enlightened being, right? Doesn't teach widely like a full Buddha.
Precisely. This one came from Gandamadana Mountain, drawn there specifically by the brother's merit potential.
So seeing this holy figure, the younger brother immediately feels this surge of faith.
Spontaneously. Offers his upper cloth as a seat, then offers the juice from one of the stalks.
The one meant for his brother, actually.
Yeah, but the text stresses his intention here. He had zero thought of deceiving his brother.
His mind was just on the giving.
Purely on the act of offering to this holy being. Unties the stalk, fills the bowl completely.
And after the Paseka Buddha drank that, he offered the second stalk too.
And as he did this, he made a very strong aspiration, a wish.
What did he wish for?
He wished that this offering, this foremost juice, would lead to prosperity among gods and humans.
Okay, so worldly success.
But also, ultimately, the attainment of the Dharma, the enlightenment the Paseka Buddha himself had realized.
Ah, so a dual goal. Both worldly and spiritual. That's important.
It really is. The wish directs the merit. The Paseka Buddha acknowledged it, said so be it, then showed his power.
How so?
Flew straight up into the air, back to Gandamadana Mountain, shared the juice with 500 other Paseka Buddhas there.
Wow. That's quite a confirmation of his offering's power.
You could say that. So the younger brother goes back. The elder asks where he's been.
He explains everything, right? Giving
Yeah.
away both stalks.
Yep. And then he asks his brother this crucial question. Do you want the value of the sugar cane or a share in the merit?
And the elder brother.
This is where things diverge. Hearing the story, the elder brother is filled with this deep, spiritual joy, rapture.
Not thinking about sugarcane value at all.
No, his aspiration was completely different. He just wished, may I attain the Dharma that this Paseka realized?
Just liberation.
And that's it. Purely focused on that. So same act, same holy being.
But two very different aspirations fueling it.
And the texts say this difference, linked to their past karma, their pupakama, was key to their futures.
So what happened next?
Well, they were reborn in a heaven world for a long time, then came back down.
As brothers again.
As brothers again, yes. Sena, the elder, and Aparajita, the younger. Born into a rich family during the time of Vipassi Buddha.
An ancient Buddha long before our current one.
Eons before, carrying those past intentions forward.
Okay, so now we're in the Vipassi Buddha era. What happens with Sena, the elder brother?
Sena hears the announcement in their city, Bandumari, that a Buddha has arisen.
And that past wish for the Dharma kicks in.
Immediately. He sees people going to listen and give alms, and he feels this powerful urge to ordain.
Just like that.
Went straight to his younger brother, Aparajita, gave him all his wealth.
The entire inheritance.
Everything. Said, I'm becoming a monk. Aparajita tried to talk him out of it, we're rich, you can make merit here.
But Sena wasn't having it.
No, that aspiration for liberation was too strong. He felt life just wasn't the path anymore.
So he ordained.
Ordain with Vipassi Buddha. And because that aspiration was so deep-rooted, He attained arahantship very quickly.
Wow. Okay, what about Aparajita, the younger brother?
Well, he was still kind of caught up in worldly pleasures, couldn't bring himself to ordain.
So he goes to his now Arahant brother.
Right. And asks, okay, I can't ordain yet. What's the biggest, best merit-making thing I can do as a layman?
And Sena suggests.
Build a gankakudi, a fragrant chamber, basically a special dwelling for Vipassana Buddha.
And Aparajita runs with this idea.
Oh, absolutely.
Goody.
With incredible enthusiasm. And the way he built it, it's described on an almost celestial scale.
How so?
Made from 7 kinds of jewels. Gold, silver, ruby are mentioned specifically.
The whole building.
Pillars, roof tiles, even 3 huge windows. All 7 types of jewels. There's even a side story about his nephew, also named Aparajita.
What about him?
He wanted to chip in, share the merit, but the younger brother, Aparajita, said no, this merit was his.
So the nephew.
Went and built his own 7-jewel structure right in front an elephant hall, a Kunyajar Sala.
And this nephew, the texts say.
He gets reborn as Mandaka Sethi in the current era, another legendarily wealthy figure.
It really shows the power of association, doesn't it? Even being near such merit-making.
Definitely. Anyway, back to Aparajita's Gandakudi. He also built lotus ponds around it, perfumed water, colorful flowers.
Like the most amazing part.
Was what he did with the jewels around the building. He took these 7 kinds of jewels, some crushed, some whole, scattered them knee-deep, all around the precinct.
Scattered jewels, knee-deep, like gravel.
Pretty much. And not just once, he did it 3 times.
Okay, that's just staggering. It's hard to even picture that level of generosity.
It really is. Utterly different from how we think about wealth.
What was his motivation for that part? Scattering the jewels.
It wasn't just showing off. The idea was to use this incredible site, the jewels everywhere, to draw people in.
Even people who weren't initially interested in the Dharma.
Exactly. Even those who might just come hoping to grab some treasure, he hoped they'd stick around, hear the teachings, and maybe find liberation themselves.
Ah, skillful means.
Very much so. He even set rules. Poor people could take jewels with 2 hands, richer folks with just 1.
And he placed one special jewel.
Yes, a huge, priceless one, the size of a melon, right at the Buddha's feet.
Why?
So people looking at its light, combined with the Buddha's own radiance, wouldn't get tired. Their gaze would be refreshed, sort of held there.
An incredible combination of faith, generosity, and, well, strategy.
Absolutely. Now, let's jump forward to the current Buddhist time in the story's context.
Aparajita, the builder, the jewel scatterer, is reborn.
As Jotika, in Rajagaha, into a wealthy merchant family.
And the results of that past merit, visible right away.
Instantly. At his birth, all the weapons in the city blazed like fire, ornaments shone, the whole city lit up.
Whoa. So his father tells the king.
Tells King Bimbisara, yes. And the king recognized these signs immediately, signs of huge merit.
What did the king say?
He actually said Jotika was like a slave of yours to him, meaning Jotika's merit was so immense it put even the king in his debt in a way.
And he set up an allowance.
1,000 pieces of money daily just for Jotika's care, from birth.
And the name Jotika.
Means blazing or light, because the city lit up when he was born. Makes sense, right?
It does. Did the manifestation stop there?
Oh no. They became the fabric of his life when it was time to build his house.
What happened?
Saka's realm, the king of the gods, it got hot. A sign great merit was ripening on earth.
So Saka intervened.
Saw Jotika deserved something special, appeared as a carpenter, instantly leveled a huge plot of land.
How big?
16 karisas. Huge. And then caused a 7-story palace, all made of the 7 jewels, to just rise up from the earth.
He just appeared.
Manifested spontaneously.
Unbelievable. Was it protected?
Oh, yes. 7 jewel walls, 7 gateways. Each gate guarded by a named Yaka chief.
Like celestial bodyguards.
Powerful ones. Yamamoli, Upalo, Vajiro, Vajirobahu, Sakato, Sakatato, di Samuko. Each with a bigger retinue, from 1,000 up to 7,000 yakas.
And treasure inside.
4 massive treasure jars. Described by their depth, a yochana, 3 gavuta, half a yochana, 1 gavuta, colossal amounts.
So when King Bimbisara heard about all this,
he sent the official merchant's umbrella, formally made him Jotika Sethi, the chief merchant.
did Jotika live there alone?
No, his wife was also a result of past merit, reborn from Uttarkuru, a heavenly realm.
Because she made merit with him before.
Exactly. Deities brought her to him, and she came with gifts too.
What kind of gifts?
A measure of rice that never ran out, no matter how many people ate. And 3 blazing cooking stones.
Blazing stones. For cooking.
Yes. They lived without needing fire or lamps. The palace glowed from the jewels, and these stones provided light and cooked the food.
So the text explicitly links this life back to the past actions.
Directly. It says this prosperity, the palace, the jars, the rice, the stones, the light was the direct result, the nasando, the overflow of scattering those jewels around Vipassi Buddha's Gandhakudi.
So it's not earned wealth in the usual sense. It's the fruit, the vibhaka, of past merit.
Precisely. A totally different category. Spontaneous, self-sustaining, divinely protected.
And did Jotika keep this wealth to himself?
No way. He continued the generosity. People came from everywhere to see the palace.
And he fed them all.
With the inexhaustible rice. Plus, wish-fulfilling trees on the grounds gave clothes and ornaments people could just take.
And money.
From one of the big jars, the Gavuda-sized one, people could take money. Its level never dropped. Not even a finger's width.
The scale is just something else. Even the king had trouble visiting.
Yeah, King Bimbisara. Initially, the crowds were just too big. Constant stream of visitors benefiting from Jotika's merit.
But eventually the king did visit.
Yes, when things quieted down a bit, he came with a large retinue, but his perception, it was limited.
How so?
Well, at each gate, he saw a maid sweeping. But their jewelry was so brilliant, he thought they must be Jotika's wives.
He was intimidated.
Too intimidated to even offer them his hand, the text says.
And inside the palace.
The jewel floor. To the king, it looked like a 100-man deep pit. He was terrified to step onto it.
Frozen.
Totally. Jotika had to actually take his hand and lead him, show him it was solid ground.
Wow. So the same place looks different depending on your own merit, karma.
Seems so. A fascinating detail about perception and reality.
And Prince Ajatasattu was there too, the king's son.
Yes, young Ajatasattu, watching all this, seeing the jewel palace.
What did he think?
He thought his father, the king, was a fool for living in a wooden house. Yes. And he decided right then, when he became king, he was going to take Jotika's palace.
That's quite a different reaction. Covetousness right away.
Shows a different mindset entirely, doesn't it?
So, after the tour, they had breakfast.
Yes, sat down for a meal, served on gold plates worth a fortune.
And there was some confusion about the food.
Well, first they got something called soaked milk rice. The king thought that was it.
But it was just an appetizer.
Jotika gently explained, yes. Then the main meal came, placed over the first plate, all warm and delicious.
The king enjoyed it.
So much he kind of lost track of how much he was eating.
And Jotika stopped him.
Respectfully, yes. Said, enough, your majesty, you won't digest more.
Bit bold, maybe?
The king seemed a bit surprised, but Jotika explained why. He said, this food could feed your whole army, but I worried about ill repute.
How so?
If you felt unwell later, people might gossip. The king got sick at the merchant's house. What did he do? I feared that talk.
Ah, thinking ahead. Protecting his reputation from potential envy or blame.
Shows a level of concern beyond just serving food.
After the king ate, the whole army ate too.
The whole retinue, yeah, from that same inexhaustible supply. Then the king asked about Jotika's wife.
Wanted to meet her.
Yes. Jotika said she was in the auspicious chamber, didn't even know the king was there.
So Jotika went to get her.
Yes. And this is where we get that really profound moment of reflection from her.
She's lying there. Jotika tells her the king wants to meet her. What does she say?
First, she asks, who is this king, my lord? Like, the concept is foreign.
Because of their immense wealth and protection?
Seems so. When Jotika explains a king is their master, she gets upset.
Upset. Even with all that wealth?
Yes. She laments, our merit must have been ill done. We have all this, but we still have a master.
What does she mean, ill done?
She speculates they must have given their past gifts without complete faith, and the result is this. Incredible prosperity, but still being subject to someone else.
Wow. That's a really subtle point. Even with unimaginable wealth, she feels a lack of true freedom.
Exactly. She pins it on the quality of the faith behind the merit, not the quantity. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What does true freedom mean?
It does. Is material wealth, even on this scale, enough?
Her perspective suggests maybe not, if there's still that sense of being subordinate.
So did she meet the king?
Yes. She came out and fanned him with a palm leaf fan. But as she did, tears started streaming down her face.
Why was she crying?
The king thought she was afraid he'd take their wealth. He tried to reassure Jotika.
But that wasn't it.
Not at all. Jotika explained, Your Majesty, the tears are from the smell of your turban.
The smell.
She's only ever known the light of jewels, he said. Never seen lamplight or firelight. Your Majesty must have been sitting near a lamp.
So she was reacting to the unfamiliar scent of lamp smoke on the king's clothes.
Exactly. Having lived purely by jewel light, it's such a specific, almost alien detail.
To prove it, Jotika then offered the king.
That huge melon-sized jewel said, "From now on, Your Majesty, please sit by jewel light too."
And the king accepted.
Yes. Departed completely amazed by everything he'd seen.
That visit really highlights the contrast, doesn't it? Perception versus reality, coveting wealth versus effortless abundance.
And that incredibly deep reflection from the wife about the quality of merit and true freedom.
Are there other stories like this in the scriptures, showing merit ripening materially?
Oh, yes. There's the story of Jatila, also set in Varanasi, which reinforces the theme.
Okay, briefly, what's his story?
Starts with a beautiful merchant's daughter, kept isolated upstairs for protection. A flying Vidyadhara, like a celestial being, sees her through a window, is captivated, comes in.
Leads to a pregnancy.
Yes, she hides it, gives birth secretly, tells her maid to put the baby in a pot, cover it, put flowers on top.
And floated down the Ganges, like an offering.
Exactly, to conceal the birth.
What happens to the baby?
2 women bathing downstream find the pot. Argue over who gets at the pot or what's inside.
They take it to the king.
Who rules? One gets the pot, the other gets the baby.
And the woman who got the baby.
She was an attendant of Mahakakayana Thera, a major disciple of the Buddha. She planned to raise the boy to ordain.
He was named Jatila. Why?
Because of matted hair, Jata, from some grime at birth that wasn't cleaned properly.
But did he ordain right away?
No. Mahakakayana saw the boy had immense merit, but for lay prosperity, not immediate ordination.
So he sent him somewhere else.
Entrusted him to another attendant, a merchant, in faraway Takasila.
And this merchant tested him.
Yes. Put Jatila in charge of a market stall filled with 12 years' worth of accumulated goods.
12 years worth.
All of it. Then the merchant left town.
And Jatila's merit kicked in.
You could say that. The city deities apparently directed every single customer that day only to Jatila's stall.
So he sold
Everything. 12 years of goods in one day.
The merchant must have been shocked.
Terrified at first, seeing the empty stall, but then overjoyed when Jatila showed him the money and explained.
Realized the boy's potential.
Knew he was invaluable, gave him his daughter in marriage, built him a house.
And then the big manifestation.
The moment Jatila stepped into the new house, the earth behind it split open. An 80-cubit-high mountain of solid gold rose up.
A gold mountain just appeared.
Just like Jotika's palace, spontaneously generated wealth from past merit.
And King Bimbisara heard about this too.
Heard about the gold mountain, immediately sent the umbrella, made him Jatila Sethi. The texts also mention he had 3 sons later.
So very similar themes. Different specifics, Jewel Palace versus Gold Mountain, but the same core idea.
Exactly. Past powerful merit, specific aspirations ripening into extraordinary, visible, material wealth in the present life, recognized by the same king even.
It really hammers home the connection that texts draw between Punakama merit and Vipaka result.
And the scale involved. Scattering jewels, building jewel temples. These weren't small acts. They required immense faith and generosity.
And aspiration played a key role again, guiding how the merit ripened.
Right. Sena, aiming purely for liberation, got arahantship quickly. Aparhita Tutika, aiming for worldly and spiritual goals, got the immense wealth first.
It shows how past karma, our intentions, shape our present reality in really profound ways according to these texts.
It's a complex picture of cause and effect, much deeper than just do good, get good.
What really sticks with me, though, is Jotika's wife again. That feeling of incompleteness, of having a master despite everything.
That's the provocative thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
If even that level of wealth, divinely given, doesn't equal complete freedom or satisfaction, because the initial faith might have had some tiny flaw.
Then where does true freedom lie? What does it mean to cultivate merit with perfect faith, aiming beyond even unimaginable riches?
Does ultimate security lie beyond the material realm altogether? These stories push you to ask those questions.
Definitely challenges our usual ideas about success and what's worth striving for.
It invites reflection on our own intentions, the ripples of our actions, and what our deepest aspirations really are.
Well, that was quite the deep dive into these accounts of unimaginable riches and the merit behind them. Thank you for walking us through that.
Always fascinating to explore these layers of meaning in the texts.
And thank you all for listening. We hope this exploration has given you plenty to consider. Join us next time for another deep dive into compelling source material.